Look at me, I'm Peter Pan.
Dude, yes.
I'm a little boy forever. Don't put it at the beginning of the show, please. Welcome, everybody, to episode 85 of the Serial Chillers podcast. That's of 1 million. I'm sure you guys knew that.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't have very many left to do, I guess. 999,915 to go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we are here from the Super Network studio. Hella Greg in the Super Network bunker, 66.6 feet directly below us. How goes it, Hella Greg?
Definitely didn't have a mouthful of chips when you threw it to me.
You knew where this was going.
Yes. Yes.
Just absolutely terrible.
So you guys may not have known this because Greg came in before you guys got here. But Greg now resides 66.6 feet directly below us in the Super Network bunker. We don't talk, though. When he passes through, it's weird to talk in person. So keep the tradition alive. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Maybe try getting here before I get here. Then we don't have to have the awkward don't talk. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, but it's more fun for me to put my hand up and just kind of walk past you.
Fair enough. So find us on Facebook at Serial Chillers Podcast. The Facebook group is of the same name. It's closed. Someone will accept you. Probably Getty or Nick.
They're fast.
They are fast. The Instagram is at Serial Chillers Podcast. Twitter is at Chillers Podcast. We won't see it. The email address is serialchillerspodcast@gmail.com. You can call or text the voicemail at 1-805-666-2513. We've got some merchandise over at serialchillerspodcast.threadless.com. Some new stuff arriving soon. serialchillerspodcast.com for stickers. You can also go to the supernetwork.com. It's all fucking happening, man. And lastly, patreon.com/serialchillerspodcast. That's where you can give to the show. You know, we're doing some shit out here. Also, check out Super Simpsons Show. That's where Greg and I do a show about the Simpsons. Let's introduce some guests. You guys have all been here before. Do you remember the episode that you were on? Because I don't.
Yeah.
What number was it?
I think one was 74, and the other one 60 something, and then the Halloween special.
Okay, so and Bobby was actually part of a lost episode too, where I had audio issues. So
I was sad actually when that happened.
Welcome back, Bobby.
Yeah. What's up?
So Bobby, here's something you may not know.
What's that?
Because I don't think that you're in the Facebook group. But we do a poll every now and again, like, yo, who's your favorite guests? And I won't say you won, because it's usually my mom or Casey.
Yeah.
But you won't say you won because you did.
Yeah. You get a lot of votes, though. You get a lot of votes, Bobby.
Do I really get a lot of votes?
People mention you quite a bit. They love your voice.
What?
Yeah.
Damn, you just did the impossible. Well, you made a black guy blush.
There we go. You guys have
Why
done
doesn't
that.
it sound like a pickup line?
Sorry, when I get, when I'm talking to the ladies, I'll say.
Why does it?
I'll check it.
Well, yeah, but
Because
like,
he looked directly into my eyes, dude. Why do you think? Have you seen this?
Sorry,
Did it
man.
hurt?
want a piece of this?
Oh,
Wait, hold on. What was it? Can you feel the eruption, brother?
brother.
Can you feel the eruption, brother?
Oh, man.
So, welcome, Bobby.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? I'm excited to be on the show. I'm super, super excited. I love this show.
Excited to have you.
Yeah.
Probably not as much to say, but welcome back to the studio, Justin.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good to have you, dude.
Yeah.
Please fucking filibuster because he said you don't have anything to say.
Right, just
He's like, so the thing about the Marvel Extended Universe is...
some fan fiction. Here.
Also, welcome back. Completing the trio once more.
Yes.
Hey, Hunter, what's happening, dude?
Doing pretty good today. How about yourself?
I got this really sweet new knee pain cream. It's working pretty nicely.
Yo, can I say the name?
Hey, sure.
Yo, it's actually it's dope, all organic, vegan. Check it out, dogs.
Check it out, dogs.
That's all you need to know.
That is all you need to know because
Each individual letter.
Because you're gonna get a lot of actual information on the Instagram. We're really factual too. So it's
and
crazy.
you can hit up Bobby too. He'll let you know all about.
Yeah,
that
but don't worry about it now.
shit.
Today's about some fuckface killers. Yeah.
It's pretty true, actually. So you guys know how the show works, see? But let me explain it for anybody that doesn't. Each week I sit down with old friends, new friends, good friends, and bad friends to tell them the story of an infamous serial killer. Throughout the show, you guys can chime in on my story, and if you brought a story of your own that is true crime, dark, creepy, unsolved, or otherwise mysterious, please feel free to share it. Lastly, if you have questions about questions, make sure to ask questions because I cannot answer questions about questions if you never ask questions. Are there any questions?
Why are you perfect?
Then welcome to and let's play the Serial Chillers podcast. Yeah.
Yep, that's.
That's
I've literally been binge listening to your stuff like lately, so it's like.
so this I should have charged you to be here. Is that what you're saying?
No, not up. So see what happened was my bank account is set
It's
up.
set up.
Yeah.
Today's killer. Tell me, have you guys heard of Peter Manuel? Let me answer for you. No, you haven't.
No.
He didn't invent the manual?
Hey, shit. Damn it. All right. Hunter's heard of him. Well, the show starts the same way as it always does. Question number 1.
Yeah.
In what year was Peter Manuel born?
Okay, let's get it.
All right. Bobby says 1952.
Yeah.
Justin says 1974. And Hunter says 1946. And the 250 points goes to Hunter.
Oh.
Because Peter Manuel was born March 15th, 1927.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
Oh, we going back though, dudes.
wow.
Okay, so Hunter gets 250 points on the first one. Don't worry, guys. Plenty of fucking time to go. Let's see
know.
how many questions we got here. Greg, you had a hella great question, right? 14 questions today, including
Let's
the
get
hella
it.
Greg question. So, okay. So on March 15th, 1927, he was born in the Mariscordia Hospital in Manhattan, New York. Peter has an older brother, James, who was born in 1925. 5 years later, in 1932, he moved from the U.S. to Motherwell, Scotland, due to his father being terribly ill and mother wanting to be around family for help. So it's kind of like the reverse that we get a lot, because we've had some that are born, killers that are born in different countries and moved here when they were young. He was born in the United States, moved to Scotland. So, in 1934, while they're there, his sister Teresa was born. So when they first went to Scotland, they left his older brother behind with like the one family member they had in New York because they couldn't afford to get the whole family there at once. So they had like the 7-year-old son. They're like, "Gonna stay here for a while. We're gonna get you over there as soon as we can." But it's 1932, so this is what's fucking happening right now. Plus, it's a 3-week boat ride, and half of us are gonna die. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't the fucking.
I was like, what?
It wasn't the Mayflower.
Measles.
So in 1937, he attended St. Roman Catholic School in Motherwell, Scotland. He was a smart kid. He picked up on a lot. He wasn't like exceptional at any of his subjects, and he wasn't like a standout, but like you could tell he understood what was happening. He was very shy, but he was also one of the kids who was bullied the most. And it's not just his memory of it. Like, he's a serial killer. So there are people who went back and asked questions of the people who were around him throughout his life. And the teachers and other people can corroborate that for sure. He was pretty fucking bullied. And he also didn't really have friends. So he didn't have that friend who like knew they were probably going to get their fucking ass kicked, but who was like, "Hey, stop!"
Yeah.
He didn't even have that.
Ride and die.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't
Yeah.
even have that. So he was pretty alone through it all.
Damn.
And he's in Scotland, and he was very proud of being born in America. I think it was at a time where you could, like it was the first time really ever where you could or should be. And and
Not really.
he's they didn't like that, like a lot of his peers were like, well, fuck you, who cares about New York? This isn't New York, this is fucking Motherwell, Scotland. So about a year later, he and his family are actually going to move to Coventry, England. At this time, Peter begins to act out quite a bit. He begins shoplifting and pickpocketing. He's breaking into homes at 11. Motherfuckers
My
sneaking
gosh.
into people's houses.
It's like Sly Cooper.
That's how. That was kind of the thing though. Like they had the kids that were like in London at that time that were like little pickpockets.
Yeah.
It's the gig. That was their jam.
Instead of selling newspapers, they were just
Well, I mean, yeah, they were like little cartels.
You were
of,
either
like,
a
Lost
newsie
Boys.
or a burglar.
Yeah, they were. Well, they
Two
were. They were like
options.
little cartels of Lost Boys that would run around and like cause havoc in the street. It was fucking
My
awesome.
gosh, like a pack of rats.
Yeah, remember in Hostel, dude, where he was in like they're in like Eastern Europe, and that little like pack of kids comes up and almost gets the guy, and like the old man saves him, but then the old man, spoiler, ends up being the one who's gonna kill
Or-
him later.
Or spoiler, remember fucking Red Dead when Arthur's walking through Sandy Knee and he fucking
Oh yeah, he gets chased into the
gets-
alley.
to that little kid and he runs that kid down like that's a
Shot
fucking
those
thing,
fucking
dude.
kids in the face. Yeah. So
dangerous.
he's part of it. Then he's 11 years old. He's getting into some shit. But at this time, he's led a very normal home life. He's bullied in school for sure, and I'm not saying that that's an acceptable thing that you should have to deal with in your life.
Yeah.
But he's grown up with his dad's still sick. I don't think his dad's died at this point that he's 11, but he's supportive. He's very close with his father. His mother the same way. They're not as close as he and his father, but she's very supportive. She's very loving. There's no abuse that we can speak of. He did go to a Catholic school, and he was bullied. So in 1939, I mean, I'm just speaking facts at this point, right? Like that's. So in 1939 at 12, the first of many court appearances will begin for him. He's going to go through quite a few of these in his life. So he was arrested and kept for over 12 months for all of his shoplifting, breaking and entering, and larceny. After getting out of this situation a little earlier than 12 months, I believe, he still had a little bit of time that he's going to stay on the straight and narrow for a minute. I think maybe he gets
How
out
old is he right now?
12.
12. Okay.
So he gets out before he turns 13, and for like 2 years, really, we don't hear much from him. That doesn't mean he wasn't doing shit. Maybe he just wasn't getting caught. He got better at it.
Good at it.
Or he's chilling because, like I said, he had a fairly normal family life, and I can imagine he gets in some trouble like this, and his parents are like, all right, we're not focusing enough on him. Maybe it sounds like they're good, well-adjusted parents for the time. I'm not sure what the case, but for a few years, not much, man. 1942, though, he's 15 years old, and he breaks into his teacher's house and attacks his teacher's wife by beating her with a candlestick holder.
Oh,
Yes.
snaps.
The teacher,
Was he Colonel Mustard?
Came in there hot.
Yeah. So he bashed her really fucking good.
Damn. that's
The
not good.
teacher walked in on it and almost immediately recognized, like, it's a student who was in there bashing his wife on his head.
That must have been some traumatic shit.
And this is in December when this happened. So December of 42. And he runs and he hides in his school's nativity scene. And I guess he evaded capture for like 8 hours that way.
Hold up.
Like some Scooby-Doo shit.
Fetal position.
Hiding behind some shrubbery.
Yeah, like that. He hid behind one of the wise men and...
That is something else.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh,
That
looks-
baby
sounds right.
Jesus, 11 years old.
Oh, that's the wise men that brought him chocolate.
and a watch.
Wait.
Is that
1,
blood
2,
on his
3,
face?
4 wise men?
That's the doctor, I think. It just gave birth to him.
There you go.
So this has something to do with that beating that we're joking about so much. Question
gosh,
number
yeah.
2. With what crime will he be charged for the attack? Is it going to be A, assault, B, attempted murder, C, breaking and entering, or D, battery? 1942, is it assault, attempted murder, breaking and entering, or battery? He was only charged with one crime. Bobby says attempted murder. Justin says
Breaking and entering.
breaking and entering. The old B&E battery from Hunter. The
Bacon.
points are going to go to Justin. 250 points. The only crime he is charged with during the fucking brutal assault, from what I understand, was a good old B&E.
Damn, I thought they were gonna go differently.
I think, it's just teacher, and it doesn't specifically say that. I'm completely speculating, but like I can see a teacher being like, I thought this kid was troubled, and here he followed me home. He
Almost
beat
killed
my
my
wife.
wife.
Like, she's okay now. Like, you get into nobody gets into teaching for the money.
Yeah.
You get in because like you like kids, or you think you're gonna like kids, and that's your thing. So maybe he saw the kid and had pity in him, and they were like, sure, like charge him with the smallest of the crimes, because
Yeah.
it seems like for bashing her over the head with a candlestick holder, because like You make that shit out of plastic, and it's still gonna be fucking heavy and hard, and it's gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is that some leniency was held on him. Especially this is like,
He is, 13?
yeah, he's 12,
Oh,
15.
12.
Sorry, no, he's 15.
Oh, 15
this
now
time.
because he had 2 years.
But
of children.
he also has a fucking criminal record for
Yeah.
breaking and entering and larceny, mostly for theft. So he's convicted of in Scotland, I guess at the time, or maybe this is just misquoted, but he's convicted of housebreaking, which is
Housebreaking.
so he was sent to an approved school, quote unquote. It was a boarding school for troubled kids. When he was told he was being sent there, he ran away.
So I'm gonna get out of here.
Pretty much, yeah. So he ran away. So when he was caught, he was moved to a different school. Oh, sorry. So that's what it was. He was taken to the school, got to the school, was like, nope, fuck this. Ran away. They caught him. We're like, all right, we're not even going to take you back to that one. We're going to take you to this one. During one of his escapes, he showed early signs of what he was going to become. A report reads, quote, he was caught by the police having broken into a house a few doors from the school and stolen a handbag. The lady of the house saw him coming from her bedroom with an axe in his hand.
Oh.
As a result, she had a nervous breakdown. So he's 15. He's in this fucking school that he doesn't want to be at. And he breaks out and goes like 2 houses down. He finds like a wood chopping axe in the backyard because it's 1942.
Look at his wood. Chopping wood, right?
And this woman like walks into her hallway and he's coming out and he's got like her purse and an axe in his hand. I can imagine for this fucking poor lady that she had a nervous breakdown, man.
I feel like, I mean, I'm not judging her for having a nervous breakdown
not
because
at all.
God knows I would probably shit if that happened. That's not even a joke, dude. If I walk out and there's a fucking kid in my hallway with a goddamn axe, I'm gonna shit. That's fucking terrifying.
And a handbag
But-
of all things.
Well, that, I mean, whatever. I'm
You can
not- I'm
have
not
it,
here to
man.
judge.
Don't hit me with that axe.
Yeah,
Dude, it's
just take it,
it's
bro.
1996. People can be whatever they want to be. They can carry handbags if they want. I don't care. But like, I'm not judging her for having a nervous breakdown. But like, you gotta think like, without the axe, that's not that scary. With an axe, that's terrifying.
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be very scary to walk into my hallway and see a fucking asshole with a goddamn axe.
Yeah, that would be pretty scary.
I mean, because like, look, at 15, you're not a huge adult and shit, but like,
but you're
not
not
a kid.
small.
yeah, there's some 15-year-olds that are fucking,
Units.
That can swing a hatchet.
yeah, and then
Total.
exactly fucking absolute units with a fucking wood chopping axe. You know, it's got some sharp to it. Like that lady was out there, had it again on the grinding wheel earlier to fucking make it easier to cut her kindling.
Oh, jeez.
It's 1942, man. Central heating and air is not really fucking jamming on all the homes these days.
It was so sharp she plucked a hair and split it on the blade.
Dang.
So, June 24th, 1942, he was sent to Southport Juvenile Court on 3 charges of breaking into houses once more.
Get him out of here.
On March 15th of 43, he appeared in front of the Market Creighton Court and was committed to a Borstal, or youth prison, for 2 years. Question number 3. When he would get out of the Borstal, the guards referred to him by a weird descriptor. What was it? Is it A, evil personified, B, a slippery customer, C, model prisoner, or D, just fucking straight up scary guy? Is he evil personified, slippery customer, a model prisoner, or a scary guy? Oh, it's 1943, should I say? He's evil personified, see? I guess they're probably like 20 years too late.
Well, they've been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, I was going to say, these guys have been holding on to it, though. All right, you guys got answers?
Yep.
All right, start on this side this time. All right, says model prisoner, Hunter, and Justin says slippery customer. And Bobby says
Model prisoner.
model prisoner. You guys think he got his shit together while he was in
You
there?
know what? He had 2 years of chilling, so I just thought maybe he'd do it again so he can get out there so he
slipped
can
on
start
by.
breaking into things. Because you can't break into things if you're already caged up.
Yeah, but what if you were a slippery customer? 250 points
Damn
for
it,
Justin.
Son of a mother.
Don't worry, guys. Plenty of time to go here. Yeah, what a fucking sweet thing to be. You know why Justin guessed that? It wasn't because that's what he thought. He was like, Jesse wouldn't make that up.
It's too clever.
That's
too
probably
specific.
my favorite on the list, though.
Slippery
That's-
customer.
It has a nice ring to
Yeah.
it. That's all it is.
He's a real slippery customer.
Ah,
how they
I can
talk.
hear it now.
See, that's why I just stick to Maggie. In 1943
Oh, damn.
or 1944, Manuel was struck on the right side of his forehead by a piece of steel from an air raid bomb attack. Remember, it's 43-44.
End of the war.
He's in Scotland. He's in England. He's moving around. Like he's facing. There were partisan shit. Not a lot, but there was some residual attack that happened near him, and like some steel went flying through the air, and it happened to hit him.
So you're,
that?
so you're saying Europe in 1944 was like a safe place?
Why? Why would you think that?
When he got hit by that piece of steel, he was knocked unconscious for several hours and was blank-minded for a few days. That's how they call it. What blank-minded? So I guess he just kind of was extremely concussed.
Yeah.
Is what I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
So he just kind of floated through the next couple days and was like, "No, I'm good. I got it now." But I'm like, "Whoa, how much have you had to drink today?" He's like, "Drink."
Hey, you shut up.
CTE. He could probably get away with it now.
Yeah, now. And then they were like, "Come on, you're shell shocked, bitch. Get up." He's like, "But I'm 15." So in 1940,
Where's my axe?
in 1944, he's got a job, and he is I don't know what the job was exactly, but he was working on something and received an electric shock. And this wasn't like an electric shock, like, oh shit, dude, what the fuck? This was like the shoot you across the room and
My gosh.
like Jim Carrey in a comedy electric shock. Like,
They had like 12-volt outlets.
well,
back
what
then.
I think, because this
Marv from Home Alone.
yeah, you saw his skeleton. What I think it was they were like working on some scaffolding or something. And so they were like him and a group of dudes were standing on a metal scaffolding, and it got electrified somehow. It usually only happens from videos I've seen on the internet, but it's he got thrown off the thing, and the other three dudes that were on there weren't so lucky because they were holding on somehow. So they stayed on while it stayed electrified. And so the other three dudes were killed.
Were
and
toasted.
Peter Manuel was electrified super fucking hardcore and like thrown from the
Toasty
I believe it was the
roasties.
scaffolding, yeah.
You suppose if God exists, he was like, damn, missed him.
Maybe.
Oh my
He
god.
got
Or
away
he
with
was like-
he got away with the metal.
Or he was like, yes. Now realize your full potential.
Oh my god.
I like to picture my God as kind of evil. I also think this is like 1944. So like those three dudes probably died, and they like smacked Peter in the face, like, "Get back up there. We figured it out. You already have three coworkers back up there." And so, someone just stepped in and
gosh.
they took her job. So Peter had memory problems for pretty much the rest of his life after this accident, according to him. So he's had a severe head injury. He's been electrified enough to where he's like, "My brain oatmeal," and and he's having memory problems. Remember, it's 1944, so he's like 19 years old. I think he's 17 years old. So.
17 with memory problems.
Yeah. So in 1945, he gets his official release from Rochester Borstal. So this job he was working on was like during a work release for his juvenile. So that's probably why they were like, "Get back up there.
Yep, you're
Get
good.
back up there. We need you to handle this shit."
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're dead. It's prison, you fucking idiot. So
You guys are disposable.
as in 1945 at 17, he's finally released completely from the Rochester Borstal Institution.
You made it.
Yeah. On February, let's see here. Yeah, February 17th, 1946, he'll be arrested on this day for theft 10 months after being released. What was it that he stole? Was it A, a watch, B, a pair of shoes, C, a bicycle, or D, one of those new fancy clock radios? Did he steal a watch, a pair of shoes, a bicycle, or a radio?
I'm ready.
Bobby, what do you say?
The song put me in a trance, so I'm going to say bike.
Bicycle race,
I
bicycle
feel like you're throwing me off. But
Da-na-na-na-na-na. Justin,
Pair of shoes.
pair of shoes. He's been out. Who knows? He might just need a new pair of kicks because he's been barefooted for the last 10 months. What do you got, Hunter?
I got the whipsicle.
He's saying the wind. Wait, what?
Bicycle.
I was like, wait. Is that like a fake name, or is that like some sweet name I don't know for you younger kids who are calling watches these days?
It was the whip back in the day.
Yeah,
It was a whip.
it was
That
a
is
whip.
true. So, bicycle, pair of shoes, and what did you say again?
It's a bike. Yeah, it's a bike.
Also a bicycle.
because you need it for transportation to steal more shit.
This motherfucker high class, yo. He stole a watch. Nobody gets any points on this
Bro,
one.
look at this.
So, yeah, he's arrested for breaking into a home and stealing a watch. 4 days later, he is released on bail. About a week after that, he attacks a mother of a 3-year-old child in Mount Vernon, Glasgow. He kicked and beat her brutally,
My gosh.
but he did not commit any type of sexual assault. So don't worry, guys. He just
Okay.
kicked
Stand
the
up.
fuck out of her
Okay,
until
class.
she was like almost
Class.
dead. But no touchy. So 4 days later, after the first attack, he would attack a young nurse along Calder Road, Bells Hill, only 6 miles from Mount Vernon, Glasgow. There would be no sexual assault in this attack either, just a random fucking brutal beating of
My
a nursing
gosh,
student.
that is.
Just chilling, walking down the street, and some fucking dude walks up like, "Hey, how are you doing?" What the fuck? Get on the Just start beating the
Literally
shit
a
out of
Saints
you.
Row, like just character for no reason.
Yeah.
Like
Imagine being that 3-year-old kid and just watching your mom get the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah, and what are
Just
you gonna
knowing
do?
that
You're
when
3.
she's done,
Like,
when the
hey-
guy's done with her, he's just gonna look over at you.
Like,
you're
give me that
fucking 3.
fucking lollipop.
What are you gonna do?
So after this day where he attacks the young nurse, the following day he attacked a 26-year-old female on Ferry Road in Bothwell. Question number 6. He was going to attack her and assault her pretty hard. How is he going to cause this physical damage? Is it going to be an axe, slamming her head into the ground, a cricket bat,
curb stomp.
or brass knuckles?
I almost put curb stomp.
Is not one of the options.
Well, you never know how he bashed the head in. You know.
Was it axe, slammed her head into the ground repeatedly, a cricket bat, or brass knuckles?
I already got mine. I'm ready to lose again,
All right.
but actually win at the end.
Start over here. Hunter says, head on the ground. Justin said, cricket bat,
Axe.
axe.
Yep.
I threw cricket bat in there just because they were across the pond and I knew they didn't play
Damn it.
baseball, but it's definitely not it. So that's a good diversion answer.
Yeah. Hey.
I also put axe on there just now because it literally said hammer, but I was like, axe is fresh in their mind, so I'm going to change this. So that's also not the answer. He did slam her head into the ground
My
repeatedly.
gosh, Hunter.
Hunter got some points.
That was like the
and,
most logical one for sure.
yeah.
You know, he actually challenged me before we got here. He's like, "You're gonna lose tonight." And
Well, so far, Bobby, I usually tell people if you want to win, you got to score more points. But I'm going to tell you, if you want to win, you got to score points. Just any, some of them.
damn, I was like listening very like intently. I was like, "Okay,
Oh, what's the tip?
like,
Yeah,
oh.
do better.
All right, I will.
Get good.
Motivation. Let's go. Stay positive. Let's get it.
So yeah, he slammed her head into the ground repeatedly. In addition to the beating, he also escalated from his previous attacks and would rape and sexually assault her repeatedly. So I think
there
he
it
just
comes, there
he
it
just
goes.
drug her into the
That comes
bushes and did his damn thing. On March 9th, he's arrested for the attack for this woman. So it just took him a day to find him.
That's pretty
That's-
impressive.
that's
actually,
actually
back
pretty
then,
fast,
like,
yeah.
who reported it?
I think he
doing
was
all
like
this stuff.
not wearing a mask. I think it was broad fucking daylight. I
He was
think he was
just
just like,
ballsy that
I
day.
need to rape, and that he just fucking did it to the first person that seemed
God.
like it was gonna be plausible.
Yeah.
like I said, maybe just drug her into some bushes, and like someone's like, what, what just happened? Like, I do agree that one day is a good, nice, tight time frame for him to be captured. So. Good. Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, get him off the streets.
On March 21st, he's sent to prison for 12 months for 15 charges of breaking and entering into homes that they knew about, and he's going to appear in a separate charge for the assault and rape on June 26th, 3 months later, at the High Court Judiciary in Glasgow. Later in June, he's going to be convicted of the rape. In July, he appears at Coventry, Ely, Cambridge, Darlington, Manchester, Southport, Hull, Beverley, Mark Whitton, and Yorkshire courts for breaking and entering into houses and shops. So he had to go to all of the different
Yeah.
courts to get
Oh,
his...
that's different. That's different places.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
one long name.
Well, you know, you know how they are across the pond.
Yeah.
Like 11 names for one town.
So, between 46 and 52, after all the charges had come down, he would spend how long in prison? This is everything. They're like, look, here's your fucking breaking and entering, here's your assault, here's your rape charge, everything. How long? Question number 7, just right out there. You guess, closest to the answer is going to get 250. It could be days, it could be years, months. Whoever's closest to the answer, 250 points. 1,000 if you nail it. All right. Bobby, what do you got?
All right.
DE?
All right. 25 years.
25 years, Justin said.
I'm going short. 1 year, 3 months.
1 year,
Wow.
3 months.
Oh dang, I went 2 years.
2 years.
Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
Justin's going to get the points.
Damn it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. What'd you say again?
1 year, 3 months.
So 2 years. What'd you say again?
I said 25 years.
I had a different answer in my head. Hunter's going to get the points.
Oh my god.
Sorry. I apologize. He spent the next 6 years in prison.
What
6
is
years
going
in
on?
prison.
He raped somebody, man.
So, yes. That's 750 total. Justin has 500. Bobby hasn't scored anything yet.
Oh my gosh, no, no, guys. I'll make sure all of you guys who are listening right now are proud of me. Just wait for my comeback.
Don't hold your breath. So, he states that from then on, nope, I skipped over a little bit. According to a psychiatric report, he states that this was a trumped up charge. Yeah, he got his 6 years for breaking and entering, rape, assault. This is trumped up. He said it was trumped up on the part of police, who he infers
Bunch of horse shit.
manufactured the evidence that convicted him. He stated from then on he had it in for the police who had framed him, especially the detective who took him down, Detective Muncie, and he never forgot about that.
Oh, I already know what's going to happen.
Some shit, so
He's
like a
coming
setup
back
for a
his
movie,
wife.
huh?
Yep.
So in 1953, he's going to be released from prison.
Uh-oh.
So he does pretty much the entire 6 years at least. So in 1953, he gets the job at the gas board company. He also meets a woman named Ann O'Hare.
Oh,
He nails it down. He's like, marry me. I think that's what we're going to do.
Whoa.
Marry me.
Okay.
So they're engaged for about a year. And then in 1955, seemingly all of a sudden, the engagement to Ann O'Hare was called off due to differences about religion. I don't know which religion either of them carried or what they believed in. They're both probably bullshit. In 1955, the same day his engagement was called off, he abducted Mary McLaughlin at knife point and attempted to rape her. So, blowing off a little steam, just, not how most of us do it, I
I
feel
just
like.
lost my wife.
Yeah.
Time to go back.
I feel like I would just go break all the dishes in my kitchen or
Yeah.
something. You know what I
Please.
mean? Like if I really needed to destroy right now.
Have like a pink moment or something.
I mean, all that seems counterproductive. I think the best thing you can do if you lose your significant other like that is just immediately download Tinder.
Swipe, swipe, swipe.
Okay, so on January, so he attempted to rape her. He apparently could not perform.
Because she went to the gym, dude.
Yeah, I think
She was
more
sick.
like he was like, I just need to see some fucking blood. January 1st, 1956, Ann Nealons was stalked onto an East Kilbride golf course where she was raped and bludgeoned to death with a length of iron. Although he was questioned by police about the murder and would confess to it 2 years later, Manuel escaped arrest when his father gave him an alibi. And there's also some evidence that his dad might have burned some bloody clothes for him, too.
Oh.
So, he's going to later be charged with this murder, but,
Dad's helping out.
yeah, for sure. About 8 months later in September, Peter buys a gun from a man named Peter Hamilton. So they just did a Peter hookup.
Yo, Pete.
He illegally purchases a gun.
Hey, Peter. I can't do it.
That was frowned upon at that time. At that point.
Oh, yeah. Big time no Peter hookups. So, question number 8. How long would he wait to use that gun in a crime? This is just another open one. 250 points to the closest. 1,000 points if you nail it.
Oh, man. I gotta
How long
reevaluate.
did he wait to put that gun in someone's fucking face?
All right.
All right.
Mine sounds like a sentence.
All right. You go first, Justin.
Yeah, Justin, what's
say
up? What do you got?
Immediately after he bought it, like
Like he left
within like hours.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna say 2 hours.
2
Give you an
hours.
official answer. All right.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, says Hunter. Bobby said.
Well, I got one more over him. 15 days.
Bobby said 15 days.
Yeah. I was gonna go month, but I'm feeling 15 days.
Feeling 15 days. What you should be feeling is that you just took the lead for nailing it.
Yes.
Because 15 days later,
Don't call it a
he
comeback.
would use his gun in a crime that is 1,000 to literally take
at these
a 1,000 to 500 to 750 lead.
Let's go.
Right before
Let's
we
go.
take a break.
Hold that all day. Let's
So
go.
you essentially threw the Hail Mary at halftime, and it landed.
It did.
I was just gonna say he's feeling it, huh?
Yeah.
Dang.
He's on
Feeling
fire!
15 days.
So 15 days, yeah. He can't see the screen either. He got
is
that
awesome.
shit, yeah. So Bobby takes a 1,000 to 700 to 750 for Hunter, 500 for Justin. Still anybody's fucking game. We're gonna take a little breaky right here. Greg's gonna have a dart likely, and we will come back with a Hella Greg story and question. Come back, or we'll kill you.
And maybe check out the series.
You left me with a taste of regret on my lips, blood held between fingertips. I see you sitting in your solid room on this cold dark night. I see you sipping on that vodka. It's gonna make you feel alright. Getting high, yeah, you make me feel alive. Spinning records all the time. You could stay with me tonight. Getting high, yeah, you make me feel alive. Spinning records all the time. You could stay with me tonight. What you really wanna know about me? Can't you see I'm dripping like I'm fucking saucy? I just wanna get to know you. Girl, just let me show you. Just wanna be your go-to. Driving to the coast and I'm looking to my right. You're looking pretty good. I be rocking off white, yeah. Running through my mind like a track meet all night. Stacking all these hundreds to the motherfucking sky, yeah. What's the plan? Tell me what it do. I can't include myself if it ain't including you, oh man. Can you pour another cup, please? Turn the system up, please. Chill it out on Long Beach. Got this rollie in my hand, I've been smoking on that grand. Got that pack from Uncle Sam. One day you told me the strength of a man is measured in his heart. I drive back home and think of times when it was simpler from the start. Getting high, yeah, you make me feel alive. Spinning records all the time. You could stay with me tonight. Getting high, yeah, you make me feel alive. Spinning records all the time. You could stay with me tonight. Can you pour another cup, please? Turn the system up, please. Chill it out on Long Beach. I've been driving to the bank now, moving hella dank now. Looks like I'm about to cash out.
Yes.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Serial Chillers podcast. As is with new tradition, we have returned with a Hella Greg story and a Hella Greg question. Greg, is your question at the top or the bottom of your story or somewhere in the middle?
It's a personal question, Dan.
Thank you to stay out of my personal affairs. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it.
None of your business.
Take it over, Hella Greg.
Okay. So I got this interested me because I saw it on the season 9 episode 1 of Unsolved Mysteries. So that's why I got a lot of this information,
love that
because
show.
there's not a lot of other information
I
on
should
it
have got
out
that
there.
theme ready.
So this is the Zodiac Killer, or like a brief overview of who the Zodiac Killer is, but this is mostly about how he and Ted Shashevsky, the Unabomber Ted Kaczynski and the Zodiac are the same guy.
Wait, are you guys both familiar with both these cases? So
Yes,
the
yeah,
Unabomber
yes,
taking
yes,
the
yes.
Zodiac.
Well, it's okay if you're not because I've got here.
Okay, he's got some. Okay.
I put a little effort into this one.
Awesome. Let's get it. Ooh, a detailed Greg today. Let's go.
Well, don't get crazy for details here.
I want details now. That's what I want now.
So the Zodiac Killer operated between December 1968 and October 1969, Northern California. Killed 4 men, 3 women who were they were targeted between the ages of 16 and 29. I say he because all the descriptions and everything are he, but nobody really knows who the Zodiac Killer is. So, you know.
Hey, wait, really quick.
Yes.
Yes. People say that the things that go bump in the night sometimes come out to the light.
Yeah, I had to.
Okay, so how much of that do you think we could put on before Spotify pulls us?
I don't know. I think we might be okay with fucking Vincent Price over here narrating. You know what was hella good about this show is they weren't fucking assholes, and when they ran it in syndication, it was never at nighttime, so you didn't have to have fucking terrible nightmares.
Yeah.
It was always on at like
America's Most
noon.
Wanted.
That's considerate.
Okay, sorry. So sorry, Greg. Please do
No, that's
continue on your wonderful story.
Yeah, wonderful story.
All right, I'm done.
So the Zodiac was, obviously known for taunting investigators with a series of encrypted letters.
Yeah, he sent all those
The
letters to Jake
encryption
Gyllenhaal.
was-
Like the Riddler.
What's that?
He sent all those letters to Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, exactly. The encryptions were like super, super complex. The encryptions were based in mathematics, like most encryptions are. But like his were so complex that in one letter he had 13 different symbols for he had 16 different symbols for the letter E, and he didn't like repeat them until he got to the end. So he started with one and went through all of them before he started with the first one again. So they had to figure all that shit out when they're trying to decode his letters.
So, did they, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, and I haven't really dove into this case insanely close, but it's got to be somebody who, like, knows something about creating languages or, like, linguistics or something, right? You can't just, like, Joe Schmo doesn't make up a...
Well, these cryptograms were based heavily in mathematics. One of the guys.
Oh,
was
okay, you
talking
said that.
about
You
it.
said that. Okay, I see.
Yeah. So, mathematics and astrological symbols.
Okay.
Well, what I'm thinking is that when people make these languages, especially like people like are serial killers like this, they want you to figure it out. That's why they stick to a mathematical like structure, right? Instead of just making something completely on their own, right?
Or they just want to taunt you.
Either
Well,
or.
so
Let's see what Greg says.
Zodiac was kind of known for taunting the police. That was kind of his gig. Also, the Unabomber was, somewhat of a taunter of police, a terrorizer of police. He kind of fucked with them too by doing everything, making the U.S. Postal Service do his bidding. So, but onto that, Ted Krzyzewski was.
You just can't say that last name, huh?
No, it just makes me laugh.
Oh, okay.
Because I think Coach Kaczynski is funnier. Ted Kaczynski, at the time of all the Zodiac killings, lived in Northern California. He was a mathematics professor at UC Berkeley. He left his position there to go live in the wilderness with like really no warning.
Went off the grid, like from a professor at UC Berkeley to just off the grid.
I'm a mountain man now.
And he's a mathematical prodigy. Like he's not like just like a math teacher. You know what I mean? Like he was
top notch.
he was the youngest professor to be, or he was the youngest person to be a professor at Berkeley ever
What?
at that time.
Oh, he's planning something. He's doing something out there. He's doing something.
So yeah, well, I mean, he was just kind of this math whiz. He was one of the most renowned mathematicians in the country. And that's pretty hard to do because, you know, got a lot of scientists here, especially at that time. A lot of them were German.
Whoa.
Different story.
Yep.
But, you know, he also enjoyed the anonymity of the whole thing, much like Zodiac. So the Unabomber's attacks were basically targeted against people who were involved with technology, but they were particular. Like they were set up and designed to go a certain way. The Zodiac was particular in the way the way that he committed his crimes as well. He would find secluded couples. He would find people, you know, pulled off on the side of the road, way back in the sticks, trying to, you know, get weird with each other. And that's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. But then he would creep up on them and just shoot them, or whatever. And then it got a little weirder, but they were both very methodical in the way they did their thing. So that was one connection that they were trying to draw.
Zodiac like used a flashlight to both blind and as a sight. Like he had it connected to the top of his gun in such a way that in the dark, if you were in the line of his flashlight, you were in the line of his pistol. Oh, yeah. And he would do like the Golden State Killer, and like he would come up and fucking ambush you with it. Like, for, you know, it's all dark outside and you're macking with your fucking babe, and he throws a super bright light right into your eyes.
Just trying to get a quickie and then you end off.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And I mean, well, I'll talk about it in a little bit, but yeah, he definitely had a method, and he definitely liked to catch couples. So Ted was caught in April of 1996. And as soon as he was caught, they already started connecting him to the Zodiac Killer. In fact, it was two separate investigators on either side of the country that were working independently of each other. Just happened to both be like, wait a second, and started putting like one and one together. And we're like, whoa, this is the same guy. And then they got together and were like, well, I found this. Well, I found this. Well, that makes our case airtight. And it fucking doesn't. But
I was like,
but it's interesting, the connections that they drew. So it was Mike Frisconi and Doug Oswell, and again, they were working independent of each other, and they reached the same conclusion that Ted Kaczynski was the Zodiac Killer. Because he was a rising star in mathematics, he began teaching in 1967 at Berkeley. His first those were in December of 1968. So after he moved to the approximate region, you know, Kaczynski resigned in January of 1969 without reason or warning. And then one of the Zodiac's next victims wasn't killed. He survived the attack and watched the car drive away. When he reported it to police, he said he watched him drive away in a light tan Chevy, is what he told the police. In an interview, Kaczynski's brother said at that time, Ted drove a 1967 Malibu, which was tan in color. So, you know,
connections.
We've almost got enough for a conviction.
He might have also possibly, and it's not solid, but could have driven a similarly colored vehicle.
Yes.
Quite.
Okay, so you're telling me you want more evidence then. Fine. Fine.
Yeah.
Out his ciphers was very organized and methodical, extremely in-depth. We talked about the 16 different symbols for the letter E, that he went through all 16 before repeating. His longest cipher had 360 letters. Cryptograms are the toys of mathematicians, and that they fucking love that shit. It's like candy to them. That last part I'm paraphrasing.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that guy fucking rules, right? No, he said, he basically just talked about how they love that shit. It's like it's their brain in such a way, and which, I mean, I guess makes sense. That's why people do Sudoku and shit like that, crossword puzzles, because it keeps your mentals strong.
So if you're super good at math, you're like, let me solve this secret language,
or let me create a secret language and see if somebody else is smart enough to solve it.
That's what the viewers should do. Make their own language. Send them in.
Oh no, I'd send them to Bobby.
Send them to me.
I am definitely not smart enough to figure out somebody
else's
language.
Give me only 4 languages.
I don't know how we've gotten where we are. That's what I like. Greg and I are very surprised.
I'm not even sure that I have a firm grasp on the English language. Anyway, Ted was touted as one of the top mathematicians in the country, like I said. He was also very into quote-unquote abstract math, which whatever the fuck that means, and astrology.
It's like when you just like throw math at the canvas.
Whatever lands.
Right.
That's what you solve.
X plus close parenthesis divided by... Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. Although the same criminologist who said that he was into abstract math, and he also said that Ted was a man of numbers, but different numbers. So there's really only like 10 different numbers. So I don't know where I don't know where this guy's getting his information.
I was like,
Evil
what?
numbers.
Like 10 numbers of the
I don't know what the
demons. What is
fuck that means. I wish I
The 10
tried to
legendary
Google different
demons.
numbers and I got some weird shit. It was just like different numbers. It wasn't like different numbers. I don't.
Hey, look, this might help. Abstract reasoning refers to the ability to analyze information, detect patterns and relationships, and solve problems on a complex, intangible level. Abstract reasoning skills include being able to formulate theories about the nature of objects and ideas. That's abstract
Whoa.
math.
I'm just gonna
Thanks,
stick to
co-host
the-
Jesse.
Yeah.
That was insane. I had a way different image. I had an image of him with a sticky note, and it says 69. He passed his friend teacher. He's like, dude, check this number out.
And it's like,
And his friend
No
turns it
matter which
upside
way
down
you
and goes,
turn
"It's
it."
still 69."
He's like, that's crazy. These are different
fuck.
numbers.
And then Harvard calls him, yo, what are you doing right now?
Abstract math.
And then because he's into astrology, he lays it on its side and he's all Gemini.
Yeah.
He invented all the math jokes.
That's how that's just how he became a professor. He did that, and some guy from Berkeley was like, "Holy shit!"
That was very professorial of you. Put
You
this
wanna
jacket
teach a
on.
class?
Yeah.
Berkeley in the '60s, baby. It was a
Dweeb.
free time. Unabomber's teaching math. Zodiac's on the loose.
For real. That's crazy.
One of the cryptograms hasn't been completely solved.
Whoa.
There you go, Bobby.
Send it in. Send it in. I'll solve
Yeah,
it.
Question-
Zodiac, send it to Bobby.
Don't
What?
actually. No, wait, hold on.
All right, Greg's got your question. You guys ready?
All right, let's get it. Let's get it.
Question number nine.
Nine, yep.
Question number 9. How many letters are left unsolved on this cryptogram? Is it A, 1 letter, like maybe the symbol at the bottom or whatever? B, 7 letters, like I don't know, Ted Cruz.
Every time he was saying Ted, I keep thinking like Ted Cruz's dad because the Zodiac killer.
C, 13 letters. Or D, 18 letters.
Was one of them 7?
Yeah, 1, 7, 13, 18.
Okay. All right.
You guys got your answers?
Yep.
Okay. What'd you say, Justin?
7.
Justin said 7.
I said 7.
Also 7. Hunter?
I also said 7.
Triple sevens. Do they get points or do they not get points?
They're getting no points. The
All
final
right.
cryptogram has 18
18,
unsolved
yep.
characters.
I knew it.
Ah, damn. I was like, I solved it. It's Zodiac.
Well, it's because it's like I thought because you
Ted
said
Cruz.
10 letters they didn't know of or something. Then, or is that something that was just a side conversation?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So,
Don't
like
reveal
10
what we talk
different
about when
numbers.
we're not recording, Bobby.
for what it's worth, Theodore J. Kaczynski has 18 letters.
Seems like a stretch.
How
So could
funny
he
would
have
it?
signed his name?
How
Probably
funny
fucking-
would that be?
That would be
though?
pretty good, actually. I mean,
That would be awesome.
that
It
would
would be.
actually
It would
be
be
it.
so. It would be a giant middle finger to like.
everyone.
He just put his name
Yeah.
on there.
It's a bad move for a serial killer, but
Or
Well,
Not
they
really.
haven't cracked it yet. It's
Yeah.
too complex.
Yeah.
could be gibberish. But
it's like,
That's what I was just. I was
Right, it
literally just
didn't.
gonna ask that. How do they know it's not?
Yeah.
Just it's something that he's like. Watch, I'm gonna put this dumb shit in. They're
Well,
gonna
I
be
mean,
still
if you're
trying to
going
solve
through
this
the-
in 40 years.
damn.
While I see
Yeah.
that, I'm sure they've got like profilers and stuff, and those profilers probably said shit like, if you're gonna go through the whole process to come up with your own language, kill these people, and then lead the police on like this in such a way that you're not going to get caught, but you're still going to keep the police interested in coming after you and trying to figure your shit out, trying to literally learn an entire language that you made up, you're probably not going to slap 18 letters of gibberish.
It would be hilarious.
Well, what if it is
Always-
actually his name?
It would.
All
would
we
be
solved
hilarious, but
is
that's
Berkeley
also the
professor
reaction.
name is, and we don't know what else it is.
Literally,
Right.
well, what if he's just like in his head, he's like, I will stop killing once they figure this out. And then he's like, damn, they still have not figured it's just my name,
Yeah,
bro.
the killing stopped like 48 years ago too, though. or something.
Oh, shit. You know what?
Well, and they caught
Or
they
did
caught the
they?
guy in
Or did they? Yeah.
1996.
Yeah.
And if you guys just aren't totally convinced, one of Zodiac's victims, another one who survived, he found this couple like out picnicking or whatever, and made the, I don't know, according to the reenactment, made the guy tie her up, and then like tied the guy up, and then shot them both. But like while the whole thing was happening, he told them that he was from a place near Deer Lodge, Montana. And I'm like, who the fuck cares? Deer Lodge, Montana. Woo. Like, what are you, like Dr. Evil revealing your master plan to these people? Like, who gives a shit? Except that here's the thing, TM. I'm Paul's lawyer. It's okay.
Yeah.
Kaczynski cabin, roughly an hour's drive from Deer Lodge, Montana.
Oh,
So
snap.
pretty much confirmed the Zodiac bomber.
The Zodiac bomber.
Dang.
That would slap Berkeley's
TM,
bumper
'cause I'm my
stickers
own
on the back
lawyer,
of
too.
cars.
There you go. Now we need a new design of the Zodiac bomber.
Who survived that couple like attack?
The male.
Just the male.
Yeah.
In both of those accounts.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because I think if I'm not mistaken, Zodiac wasn't a big fan of the headshots. It was like he was into the torso game.
Oh my gosh.
He wanted you to suffer.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
why
he
was
wasn't about the
talking to him.
suffering.
Yeah. Tie you up, shoot you in the guts, and just leave you there.
That sucks.
After they raided the Unicabin, they took inventory of like everything that was in there. They said they took inventory of everything from like every scrap of paper, like everything that was in there. And they found absolutely zero that related to the Zodiac in any way.
Well,
What
what if he
they-
kept his like stuff
well,
separate?
He kept everything from all of his bombs. Like there was, leftover materials that he kept and he stored, and there was all this other stuff that he kept and he stored, and like not necessarily cataloged. It may have been in a heap or whatever, but he had
It was all there.
All-
He had it.
he had everything.
Okay.
And so they were able to go through and sift through it all and be like, oh, okay, then this one, and this is from that one, and this is okay, he's buying this or he's got this. And they didn't find anything from any of the Zodiac stuff. So, like they said they didn't find a hooded sweatshirt, they didn't find sunglasses, they didn't find. And I kind of wanted to be like, yeah, no fucking shit. Like if you got caught on security camera, the first thing you do is ditch that shit.
Yeah.
Just found a
But
book, New
I-
Languages for Dummies.
Maybe I'm not a stupid fucking investigator. Anyway, Zodiac also switched his MO. In one of his last cryptograms, he threatened that he was going to quote bomb a school bus full of children, and he enclosed a diagram with a very complex trigger system in his letter, and sent it into the newspaper and the police, and was like, "Hey, this is kind of what I'm gonna do, so you better figure this shit out quick, pal."
The rhythm, man.
Yeah, and but then like nothing ever happened. He went fucking radio silent, and nothing. And if you need one more final shred of evidence, Ted Krzyzewski signed his classmate's yearbook with a symbol eerily similar to the Zodiac symbol.
Like the circle kind of crossed through it deal.
The crosshair thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
it just seems like he would.
So
Well, did the
Justin's
Zodiac go
convinced
on-
now. I think you got Justin.
did the Zodiac killer shift his MO and begin bombing like he promised? Or
Oh.
are they different people? I'm not going to tell you. You have to do your own homework, mostly because I did enough to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
So-
a- yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, so go fucking do your own homework. And let me know
Okay,
what
so
you
then
think.
what's
It's
your
all
opinion,
mysteries.
man?
My opinion?
Yeah.
I think Yeah, whatever. I'll go with whatever's popular right now. I don't really feel like
What?
voicing
No,
my
you
I'm
need to
gonna
be
say-
you.
Come on. You did the research. At the end of the day, hey, listen,
What-
just because like you love conspiracies and are a fan of lots of theories doesn't mean
Would
you have
it
to believe
shock
them
you
all.
if
right?
what if I told you that I tab open on my computer that says Ted Kaczynski, MK Ultra Harvard experiments?
I would say that maybe you thought that he was the Zodiac killer as well.
I don't think he was Zodiac, but I think he was put up to the Unibombing.
He was this fucking sleeper agent.
That'd be crazy.
That I
personalities.
think he may have been something similar that went rogue, but it's a whole thing, and I'll talk about it later.
Well, what if he had a split personality, and then when he got this other personality, he had a whole different life, and that's where he lived. And he didn't know about the other
You
place.
could- thank you for googling sleeper agent.
I'm more on like the idea that he definitely is the same guy. He was pretty upset that no one was figuring out who he was, so he just said, "I'm gonna bomb a school bus full of children." And then he didn't do it because they're like, "What the fuck? I just said I'm gonna bomb something. How do you not get this idea
Yeah.
that I'm the same guy?" That's my thing. But
What
Right,
I
yeah,
mean,
fair.
but okay.
Good talk.
So he kind of came out of yeah. Hey man, thanks. So he kind of came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like as far as what I got from this, they didn't talk about his early life much, but I'm assuming he wasn't always just like a mathlete. I'm assuming he really started to shine when he got into his later years, got into Harvard, obviously, where he was experimented on. And this isn't the first time I'd heard about it. I knew that he was part of the MK Ultra experiments. He volunteered for it, as is my understanding, but he didn't know what he was volunteering for, and what he wound up getting was messed up. And I think personally, a little bit of that, like some of what they did stuck, and he may have accidentally been triggered somehow and kind of started to spiral off and do his thing.
He was just like in the grocery store, and someone was like, "Do you have any rutabaga?" And he's like,
What was it on Family Guy? Gee, that Italian family's quiet. We got to pick a phrase that no one's ever gonna say. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that Zodiac was but I think the Unabomber was put up to whatever he did. He didn't do it voluntarily.
"Well, that took a curveball at the end there,
Wow.
but I never expected to go any other way." Thank you so much, Ella Greg, for staying consistent in all that you do.
Yep.
Yeah, Greg, that was tight.
yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Okay, so let's get back to the fucking super sweet story of Peter Manuel. Huh?
Oh yeah, that guy.
So let's just recap the scoreboard here. Nobody scored on the Hella Greg question. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 questions to go. Five questions to go. It's a tight one, man. Bobby threw the Hail Mary right before half. He is now at 1,000 points. Justin hanging in there with 500. And Hunter with a solid 750. That's the way it's going down right now. It's not over, though.
It's not.
So Peter Manuel, if you guys will remember, the last question before we jumped off was how long would it be before he used his gun in a crime? It was 15 days. Bobby threw the Hail Mary. So he got this gun from a man named Peter Hamilton on the 1st of September. 15 days later, on the 16th of September, 1956, he kills the entire Watt family. The ages were 45, 41, and 16. Marion, the daughter, her daughter Vivian, and her sister Margaret were shot to death in their home in Burnside, Glasgow. Manuel was out on bail for a burglary at a nearby store at the time of the murders and was suspected by officers in charge of the manhunt for the Watts killer. So he's
The family
he's-
annihilator now, right?
no, he's because not his family, but he's known now. You know what I mean? Like crimes get committed, and they're like, "Where the fuck's Peter Manuel when this happened?" Like
Yeah.
he's got a reputation going
so
for
bold.
sure. Yeah, and this one is like I said, it's a mom, her daughter, and the mom's sister. So. So he's pretty much evading capture again, even though they're pretty sure that he did this. They had Peter Manuel in their crosshairs for a second on this one, but realizing that the husband, who was not home at the time, was out of town, and they said that he would have had plenty of time to go back. And when somebody's killed, the first person they look at is the spouse. That's like rule number one, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they did here. Is the husband is out of town. His name's William, and he they pretty much they pin it on him. Like he's going to go to prison for these murders at this point. It's 1956, and I believe he gets out in 1958. So on September 17th is when the bodies were found. The day following, their housekeeper showed up and found the 3 people murdered. On December 8th,
Do you think she quit?
I don't think she had anybody to keep house for anymore.
Yeah, but I was like, what?
So 14 months later, on the 8th of December 1957, Peter Manuel shot and killed a taxi driver named Sidney Dunn whilst looking for work in Newcastle. Like, he was out with his resume, looking for fucking positions, having a taxi driver, like, whip him around, like, hey, hang out here while I run in and drop this resume off. You know, like, it's a good little deal going on there for the day, I'm sure. She knew she was going to get some cash out of it. He was like, fuck it, like, this is how I'm doing it. So a little bit towards the end, he killed her.
Oh,
her body was found on moorlands in Northumbria soon after, but this time Manuel had already returned to Lanarkshire. Yep, send the corrections in. As the case with Anne Nealons, there remains some doubt as to whether or not Manuel did indeed kill Dunn. So, like, there's some of these crimes. I mean, it's fucking the 50s. They're not, like, swabbing for DNA at this point. They might still be telling you to do cocaine about your ghosts in your blood at this point. There's some like connections to.
At this point, it was heroin.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the big H.
The H-bomb, baby. So he's connected to these murders, but there's a lot of doubt by a lot of different investigators. And I think that happens a lot with any serial killer, where especially one who ends up being serial confessor. Not that that's what he is, but you know, there's a lot of speculation about which of these he actually did. Henry Lee Lucas said he killed 1,000 people. I always use that as the example because he fucking said he killed 1,000 people.
Buffed up.
Yeah, fucking
You
idiot.
know, the Columbus run.
Yeah. So December 28th, 1957, he killed Isabel Cook. Cook disappeared after leaving her Mount Vernon home to go to a dance at a grammar school. Manuel stalked her, raped her, and then strangled her and buried her in a nearby field that he would later lead officers to where he had disposed of her body. The police didn't really believe him that he had even done the murders, and we're kind of skipping ahead here, but when he's caught and they're like walking through a field, and I think they're like, you know, jabbing out, fuck you, don't, you know,
Yeah, just
you quit fucking running us around. And he's like, I'm standing on top of her. I'm like, fuck you. And so they start digging, and they go 2 feet down, and sure shit, he had been standing right on top of where he had buried her.
This is the guy that electrocuted in a head injury.
Yeah, yeah. He was now in tune with the Earth's magnetic field.
Yeah.
As with Dunn's murder 20 days earlier, Cook's disappearance was not initially connected with Manuel, but you know, it will eventually. On January 1st, New Year's Day, 1958, the entire family of the Smarts are murdered, ages 45, 42, and 10. They were shot to death in their Uddington home. Manuel then stayed in their house for nearly a week, eating leftovers from their holiday meal. He even went so far as to feed the family cat while he stayed.
Wait. Run
Animal
that back.
rights act.
Wait, run that back.
Yeah, but that's only because it wouldn't stop meowing.
Yeah, he killed the family. He goes in.
He
There's
kills them first.
45, 42, and 10 years old. He goes into their beds,
Okay,
and
wait.
shoots them all and kills them. Okay,
But
they're
the cat's just able to chill.
dead. The cat, well, I mean, he wasn't there to kill cats. He then...
Have you ever tried to catch a scared cat?
So they had, they had like this huge, I guess, traditional Scottish like holiday meal. It's New Year's Day. So, you know, they do the...
You're
Shitty one to shut the
celebrating.
air.
Yeah. So he stayed and pretty much until that food was gone. Like they had a feast the night before, and he stayed like 6 days with the bodies in the house. Yes, to answer your question, if you're going to get there.
Yeah, that's
and
exactly what I was gonna ask.
fed the kitty and just enjoyed
Took
use of
care
the
of
home.
the cat though. You took care of the cat. Like, who are you taking care for? Like the family's dead.
For the cat, Bobby. For the cat.
You know what? You're right, guys. Everybody who's listening to this, you know what? Greg, just cut that because you know what? I love cats. I have 5, my own. You know, and I love every single one of them. You're gonna cut that, right?
We're leaving it in.
That didn't sound forced, and that didn't sound forced at all.
It's not. I do have 5 cats. 5 that I love dearly.
Oh, we're keeping it all. So he murders the whole family. After he decided he was going to get out of the home, probably because he ate all of the food, he would steal some brand new banknotes that Peter Smart had been keeping for a holiday. So he has some fucking straight cash hidden away.
Bada bing.
Going on vacation soon. That's what they call it in Scotland, a holiday. And he took the cash. He took the car and he dumped the car nearby. Apparently, he drove it like a couple miles down the road and then took off on foot after that. Ironically, Manuel gave a lift in his car while he was in it during these couple miles to a police officer who was investigating the disappearance of Isabel Cook. He even told the officer that he felt the police weren't looking in the right places.
What?
So
And this is like a corroborated story that like this cop was like driving down. He pulled up and was like, "Everything okay, officer?" He's like, "I'm actually trying to get back up here, meet with the crew." And he's like, "Hop in, I'll drive you up there, you know." Cop jumps in and he's like, "Oh, we're out looking for clues from this
just
woman
talking
that's been
about
killed
it.
in the area." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't think this is the area you want to be looking in. You probably should be looking in, whatever." So
The officer was probably like, "This guy's electrifying."
he's fucking brazen at this point, right? It's fucking intense.
electrifying. No pun intended.
Thank you, somebody else.
Please catch this. Please catch this.
Did you catch this at home?
So he gives a ride to the cop. It's only following the Smarts murders that police realize there's a serial killer on the loose, leading to, at this point, the exoneration of William Watt, who it's been 2 fucking years.
Yeah,
He's been in prison
in
for
jail
murdering
rotting
his
for-
sister-in-law, his wife, and his kid. And now they're like,
It's Danny Dufresne.
oh shit, you didn't do that. Because all these murders look exactly the same, and it's clearly not William Watt who's continued them while he's in prison. So he's exonerated on those grounds.
Do you have any information that this guy was pleading his innocence the whole time, or
Oh, for sure. And coincidentally and crazier even more at some point, because in and out of his prison life, Peter Manuel has been known as like he's a stool pigeon. He'll give information to get his sentence shortened. He'll throw anybody under the bus.
He's a snitch. That's what we
yeah,
call him.
yeah,
That's what we
yeah,
call him.
yes, indeed.
Continue. Let's go.
So this is a crazy part here. So William Watt had been exonerated because they knew there's a serial killer on the loose. They didn't know that serial killer yet was Peter Manuel. So there's this time where Watt is out and Manuel are out at the same time. So Manuel has this history of, I give information to people. Like, if you got something, I got something. William Watt finds out about this, hits up Peter Manuel. He's like, "Yo, my fucking family was murdered. I need some information. Like, see what you can find out for me, and let's meet up and talk about it."
Oh, that's
So they essentially meet at a bar, and Peter Manuel is trying to give him information of what he thought he could find about William Watt's family who had been murdered. And William Watt talks about being there at the bar and realizing that he thinks that Peter Manuel did it. He's sitting there and he thinks he could tell that he's toying with him, that he's like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe we could find the guy." Yeah, so he's sitting there across from the person who murdered his
tension,
sister-in-law, his wife, and his child.
Oh my goodness.
that tension must have been rising.
Yeah, so pretty fucking crazy. I don't know how that worked out and how William Watt found this criminal who's willing to give information to other criminal. I don't know, but they met.
Connections.
They for sure met in the meantime. So on January 13th, all the pieces start coming together, and Peter is arrested for murder. He's arrested
Good.
without a fight. They took him down. I think he knew. On January 16th, 1958, the body of Isabel Cook is found because he took them to it and said, "I'm standing right on top of it." Question number 10, true or false? They sit him down and say, "Here's all the murders we think that you did." Does he admit to all of them? Yes or no? Simple. Yeah, true or false? He admits to every murder they put out in front of him. 4 sets of murders, we should say.
Okay, I got mine.
True or false? He said, "Yeah, I did them all." What are you going to do? What do you got?
True.
True.
False.
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 False. Hunter gets the points.
Wow.
Damn.
Because he said he gave written confessions to all 4 of the crimes.
All right, tied, right?
Hunter and Bobby at 1,000 points.
All right, Hunter.
Justin at 500. Still not too late. There
Yeah,
are.
Justin, I'm looking at you too, man. I know how this game goes. We got 3 more questions, right? Or you say 2? Did you just say 2?
14 questions total. So that was question number 10. There are 4 questions left. Plenty of time, boys, because I have a story after this story, too. When this story ends, I got another one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Manuel provides written confessions for the 4 sets of murders on May 12th, 1958. He's 31 years old now. Trial. Yeah, but he's been committing crimes since he's fucking 11. He's like a 20-year vet of the criminal game.
Yeah.
What year is this?
1958 at this point. His trial is going to begin on May 12th. On May 29th at 4 p.m., the 13th day of the trial, Peter announces that he's fired his lawyer and he'll be representing himself.
Oh, that's a good
He
idea.
is so bold. Man. I told you he's a bold man.
Yeah, so
That is a smart move, and I encourage it.
Yeah, no mistrial.
yeah, it worked out for Ted Bundy too.
Yeah.
So the guards said that they would hear him, like they couldn't get him to shut the fuck up. He'd be walking around his cell, like practicing what he was going to say to the jury. Like he was walking around saying his spiel 9 or 10 hours. Like he's perfecting it.
Non-stop.
He would like say it and then look like, I don't like how I said that. I'm going to go back and say, instead like, I don't care about her. Said like, well, I didn't know her. And it was things like that. So it was,
Hey, at least he's trying to put some actual work and practice into it. You know what I'm saying?
I guess,
Got
yeah.
some thrive.
So here are some of the arguments he brought up for the multiple charges that he had. Charge 1, he said that he was working in East Kilbride on the 4th of January, 1956, when he found out a dead girl had been found in Capillarig. 1 week later, he saw Superintendent Hendry of Lancashire CID, the cop. Henry asked if Peter had been to East Kilbride. When Peter answered no, Henry said a bus conductress had said otherwise. So someone had seen him. He's like, it wasn't me. I don't know who the fuck they... He's, like we said, he's very well known, and not just to the police at this point. On January 11th of 56, police take Peter's clothing from his dwelling, and when they do return, Peter assures them that he is not in East Kilbride at all. His proof is that he got into a fight in Glasgow and went drinking the night before. The reason he brought that proof and excuse up was because his face was covered in scratches. So they're like, well, what's this all about? He's like, I was in Glasgow last night and I got in this fight. And like,
Nah, he did that shit.
that's
to
what this
himself.
is all about. Like, yeah, but there was a woman raped nearby. And we think that you might have something like, no, Glasgow. Trust me, that's where I was. That's what this is from. So on the 14th of January, Manuel's photo was to appear in the Scottish Daily Press to a brief article about the murder. The Neelan charge, Peter's facial scratches were explained by the fight the night before. In charge number 2, they said that Peter was in possession of an electric razor that had been given to him by a victim. So they found an electric razor in his home that was like from one of the places that I think it was where he had stayed for 6 days. And he was like, no, that was a gift given to me by that man. Like, rest his soul, but like, that's why I had it. He had given it to me long before he had ever passed away. Charges 3 and 4, he claimed that he didn't break into Mrs. Martin's house. He claimed that a man that was one of the people giving him information in jail. So essentially, he had a lot of details about the murders when he was doing the confessing. And when he tried to recant and defend himself, he's like, no, I know all those things because the guy who actually did it was in prison with me, and he told me all about it. His name, I think it was George Tallis or John Tallis. So he said that Tallis had boasted about being paid to break into the house on that avenue. And in July of 1956, Tallis had showed Peter pictures of 238s that he had. And Peter arranged to meet Tallis on September 16th before the arrests, but the day before the Watt murders at a Woodland hotel. But Tallis never showed, and Peter went home with a woman that night. So this is him in the courtroom right now. Like, these are all his, like, then I went and I talked to George Tallis. Talis said that he would go to Manuel's home at 10 a.m. on September 17th of 56, and Manuel challenges Talis about 3 murders in Burnside. So he's saying, like, you're the one who did, remember, man? Like, you did these. So on September 18th, Manuel finds a 38 in the dining room table drawer with 5 empty shells. On the 23rd of September, Talis admits to leaving the gun in the drawer, and Talis claims Watts admitted to killing his wife. So this Talis gentleman, who I don't believe exists, and I don't believe they could ever find any. Maybe he was just he was in his cell with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was telling him the stories. Yeah, man, Watts told me he did it. Why are they exonerating him? I saw him do it. In the charge number 5, Manuel denied the crime outright, claiming that he was watching a program about boxing. And remember, this is like before you could run it back and watch the show. He could give very detailed details about that particular boxing show that was supposed to be airing at that time. So they were like,
Okay.
maybe he
okay.
was there.
Because I never watched it, so I don't know.
So in charge number 6, Manuel said he couldn't have committed the crime because he was in Glasgow at the time of the killing, which is 40 miles away, I believe. So there's still time to get there. Charges number 7 and 8, Peter claimed that he knew the Smart family and had since 1953. Prior to the December 25th of 1957, Mr. Smart had asked Manuel if he could get him a gun. On Christmas or New Year's Eve of 57, Manuel and Smart met at Royal Oak for a gun exchange. Manuel went to Smart's house on Smart's request when Peter found all 3 family members dead. Said it looked like a murder-suicide, essentially by today's standards. Then he took the gun from beside Smart's body. Manuel called in the murders when he didn't hear about them in the papers. So, he's like, he asked me for a gun. I got him the gun. And then he killed himself and his family. And then I went there and found them dead. And I took my gun back. He's not going to use it anymore. But then I just left them. And then, I was looking at the paper every day. And, it never said anything about them being dead. So I just anonymously called it in. He's in court. This is what happened.
Heck no, bro.
So in May of 58, he
This guy's
claimed
serious.
that he wrote the confession so the police would leave him and his family alone because they had threatened him. In May of 58, he's cross-examined by the Mr. Gillies of the prosecution, and shit starts to fall apart pretty much immediately. He's not an attorney. May of 1958 continued. Manuel explains that his claims about the charges against him. He would also say that Talis knew the description of the rings, not him. So he was describing rings that in the crime scenes or rings that had been stolen that nobody could know but the killer.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. Talis got it from Talis. Also in the Watt murder, he said, I had no motive to kill this family. But the dad did, and you guys let him go. So I don't know what you're trying to do here. He had a fucking excuse for everything.
But didn't he admit to all the...
Yeah, but you can take those back.
What?
You know what I'm saying? And then you go to court as if those were never entered. That's pretty much how it goes down.
It's good to know. I'm joking.
Get
guys.
you your fucking carton of smokes and then get there and be like, I didn't say that.
I met a good guy named Andy.
In May of 1958, the judge is going to review all of Manuel's speech with the jury just to fucking see what the fuck he actually was saying because it was confusing as shit. On May 29th, the jury confirms that they have a verdict. The verdict takes the stand. And the charge number 1, the murder of Ann Nealand, not guilty. Charge number 2, the Platt break-in, guilty. Charge number 3 of the Martin break-in, guilty. Charge number 4, the Watt murders, the first entire family, guilty of capital murder. Charge number 5, the Houston break-in, not proven. Charge number 6, the Cook murder, guilty. Charge number 7, the Smart murders, guilty of capital murder. And charge number 8, theft of Smart's car after he left the house in their car. He's also found guilty. So on May 29th, 1958, question number 11, he is found guilty of the crimes that you have just heard. He is sentenced to death.
Oh,
But by what method is he to be executed? There's only so many. We're in Scotland in 58.
Scotland in 58.
Ground into outer space.
Heard the Scots had a pretty good space program in 58.
58?
Had.
Scotland, though. I'm going to say...
Bobby's going to say, freedom!
Death by combat.
All right. I don't know if it's gonna be this one, but damn, I don't know. You know what? I think that's more appropriate.
It's also for 500 points if you get it, by the way, because there's no really getting closest to this. Either you're going to get it or you don't.
Yeah.
So 500 if you get it.
All right. I changed my answer, but hopefully I did the best.
Okay, Bobby, what was the answer your final answer?
Electric chair,
What was the first thing you wrote?
hanging.
Okay. Hunter, what did you say?
I said hanging.
And Justin?
I'm not even sure if it was around yet, but lethal injection.
Lethal injection. Well, it's going to bum you out, dude. Hunter, 250, 500 points, actually, because, yes, he was sentenced to
on.
death by hanging.
Oh,
Like the last death by
My
hanging
God.
sentence.
You got to go with your gut, dude.
I
You gotta
I
go with
heard
your
the
gut.
other episode too, and I should have just listened.
It would have been ironic too, because it all started with electricity and would have ended with it.
Oh, shit. So, yes, he's found guilty and sentenced of death by hanging. On May 30th, the newspaper headline said, Manual to hang. June 20th of 1958, Manuel was seen slightly frothing at the mouth in his cell, and his stomach was pumped, but nothing of consequence is found. Pretty much they think that he was faking it. June 24th, just a couple days later, his trial is taken to appeals court on 6 grounds of appeal. The first ground is number 1, the written and verbal confessions should not have been admitted. So in this case, they were admitted, but he said, I was coerced into writing those. Number 2, the judge had misdirected the jury as to the burden of proof relating to the special defenses. So the burden of proof is on the prosecution. You're innocent until proven guilty. Mm-hmm. But essentially, that he's saying that the judge said, no. You got to prove that you're innocent, and that's how you take this jury. That's what he's saying in his appeal here. The verdict in the Martin housebreaking was contrary to evidence. So the verdict it doesn't matter about what you told us. This is what the verdict is. The jury was misdirected as to the question of motive regarding the Watt murders. Number 5, the judge failed to summarize the evidence of the witnesses Taylor and Morrison fairly in support to the defense of impeachment of William Watt. That's bullshit. Question number 6, the judge misdirected the jury in directing them to the finding of body and shoes of the Cook murder could be regarded as independent evidence capable of corroborating the alleged confession. Just more bullshit. It doesn't matter what it means. July 7th of 1958, the petition for clemency was turned down by the Scottish Secretary John Maclay. He would return to prison to wait for his execution. That's July 7th, 1958. Question number 12. How long would they wait until they executed him? This one is just open. The closest to the answer is going to get 250 points. If you nail it, you're going to get 1,000 points. You can run away with it here. Let me get you an updated scoreboard here. Hunter is at 1,500. Bobby's at 1,000. Justin is at 500. Nail it, and you tie the lead right now. That's what's going on.
All right.
How long would they wait? This is, I guess the date doesn't matter, but July 7th, 1958. How long they going to wait? 250 points to the closest 1,000 points if you can nail it.
All right, screw it. It's here now.
Justin, did you nail it? What'd you say?
1 week.
1 week. Bobby.
1 month.
1 month. Hunter.
5 years.
5 years. Nobody nailed it. Oh, I'm sorry. But Justin is going to get the points.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Oh.
So there's 250 to you, bringing you to 750, 1,000 to 1,500. 2 days.
2 days.
July
gosh.
9th, 1958. At 32, he died at 8:01 at the prison Barley in Glasgow. The cause of death officially on his death certificate was judicial hanging. Fuck yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else. He's dead. He died. It was 1958.
Okay, cool. All right.
Peter Manuel was fucking brutal. I think that, he was very, it was almost legendary is not the right word for it, but like he was like a scary story in Scotland. Like he was such a fucking brutal. He just went in and it's very Golden State Killer or Richard Ramirez. He just went into homes, wiped someone out, and he just like fucking hung out for a week or whatever. So I got one more for you guys. And question number 13.
Oh, here we go.
What is this story about? So this is an article that I found. Is it going to be about A, a kidnap victim outsmarting her kidnapper, B, a woman trying to have her husband killed, but the killer is an undercover police officer, C, 2 sons who kill their parents. Or D, parents who killed their kids. Kidnap victim outsmarting the kidnapper, a woman who tries to have her husband killed by an undercover police officer. And 2 sons kill their parents. Parents kill their kids.
Parents kill their kids from Bobby.
Okay. Bobby says parents kill their kids.
Wife tries to kill her husband. But
Wife tries to kill her
undercover cop.
husband. Undercover cop.
D.
D, parents kill their kids. Nobody scoring points on that one. Sorry, boys.
It's the first one, isn't it?
It is the first one.
Yeah,
A
that's
kidnap
how-
victim outsmarts her kidnapper.
You know, I thought you were gonna go like, a little bit of a Get Out type of ending, and I was like,
So there is one question left.
spoilers.
Justin, you have to nail it to win. But if you nail it, that means no one else is going to get points, and you will take sole possession of the lead.
Yeah.
Bobby, you're also going to need to nail it to win. So,
all right. Okay.
Hunter, you have a comfortable lead.
Okay.
You don't have a lot to worry about. If you nail it, you're going to win too, as it turns out.
all
So,
right.
Yes.
so
All right.
1,000 for Bobby, 750 for Justin, 1,500 for Hunter. If you're counting at home, are you ahead of them? Are you? You don't lie. Okay, so
Let's do this.
this article is
You
from
think
more.
somebody scrambled just now? It was like, holy shit, where's my fucking notepad? He never asked.
So this is from morbidology.com. This article is from November 10th, 2017. It's called The Kidnapping of Elizabeth Schoaf, posted by Emily Thompson. So I pretty much just have the article here. It was written well, so I give her credit where credit is due. It was the afternoon of September 6, 2006, and 14-year-old Elizabeth Schoaf was coming home from Learning Tree Road in Lugoff, South Carolina. She was walking home after departing her school bus. It was approximately 4:30 p.m., and she was strolling along and was approached by a man wearing combat fatigues. The man's name was Vincent Filyaw, Filyaw. Filyaw.
Yeah.
An unemployed sex
feel ya.
offender who police had been attempting to track down for months after he molested a 12-year-old girl. Yes, Greg.
Clint Eastwood.
His name is Felia, and he's an.
Yep.
Like, what timeline is this? It's
What's
the
crazy is
strangest timeline.
It's the one you live in, man.
It's crazy, man.
It's the
This is history.
timeline where it was fucking Berenstein Bears the whole time.
and Kazam exists.
So, Felia gained Elizabeth's trust by claiming to be a police officer in combat fatigues. Children out there, if you're listening, parents of children who have not, the first thing you do when someone identifies themselves as an officer of the law and they are not dressed in, you know what, actually anytime, an officer of the law. And this isn't an asshole to cops thing. I appreciate cops and what they do. I think there's some bad ones out there. I don't think it's all of them. And a cop will tell you this. If a fucking cop identifies themselves as a cop, ask him to see their badge and make sure that shit is metal. They don't give those plastic ones out to real police officers.
For real.
What do you? I get my metal one in next week. This is my training badge. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Then ask him to
I'm
call
still-
a supervising officer, please. No, that's not a joke. Honestly,
It's a serious thing, man.
yeah. When we were kids one time, a cop pulled us over, and a friend of mine, who's been on the show, Dustin, he told the cop, show me your badge. And we were like 14 or something. And we were with some like chicks, and it was Dustin and I and a couple other people. And the chicks were super embarrassed. Like, Dustin, don't. And the cop was like, no, that's very good. You should do that to everybody who identifies themselves.
I'm
as
gonna
an
go run
officer."
away now.
Yeah. And it was like, okay, cool, dude. But what? Is that Michael Jackson? Watch your butt.
That's ignorant.
So yeah, just, I mean, sidebar for sure. Look at me, I'm Peter Pan.
Dude. Yes.
I'm a little boy forever. Don't put it at the beginning of the show, please. So yes, Philia approaches her in battle fatigues. He gains her trust by claiming to be a police officer. He places handcuffs on her, then leads her deep into the woods, and they just start roaming around for about an hour so that he can disorient her. He eventually leads her to an underground bunker, Greg, which he had dug only 15 feet into the ground besides his trailer.
See, that's not a bunker. That's fucking.
A hole.
That's That's not even a hole.
Well, let's give you some dimensions here. It was 4
Call it a
feet
pit.
wide and 20 feet long. Inside was a hand dug privy, a makeshift bed, and shelves fashioned from branches. Like, you're gonna dig the hole and it's 4 by 20. can you just get some fucking shelves and put in there if you need them?
do something,
I'm gonna make them out of branches too. This is completely from the land.
Dude, what?
So mine's 8 by 17. So suck it, bitch.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Fuck, fuck,
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Come to my
yes.
bunker, bro.
Bro. Oh my gosh.
I
That
gotta
was
tear this bitch
perfect.
down and rebuild.
Okay, Filia. Okay, here, look. I'm gonna do strike through Greg. He didn't build a bunker. He built a.
What do you say, pit?
He built a cave. We'll just call it a cave, a
Alright,
pit. He had dug it 15 feet into the side beside his trailer, 4 feet wide, 20 feet long, 420. Inside it, he had a hand-dung privy, and hand-dung. I did it again. It's in my head. A makeshift bed and shelves fashioned from branches. What a fucking outdoorsman. There are also 2 homemade grenades and a flare gun. It was approximately 1 mile from Elizabeth's home. So he walked her around in the woods for an hour, dug her in a fucking giant pit or
She was
whatever.
that close to home.
And she was like just a hair over a mile.
She could have ran
from
that home.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
like 7 to 7 minutes.
Yeah,
minutes.
exactly. Once underground, Filia stripped the now terrified girl naked, restraining her with chains, and he repeatedly raped her. This was Elizabeth's routine for 10 days straight. He raped her between 2 and 5 times a day. Filia placed explosives around Elizabeth's neck and warned her it would explode if she attempted to escape. So he did like some Saw shit.
That's
to her.
some Saw,
Way.
yeah.
No, this is during. This is
That's
actually
arguably
Saw.
worse than Saw.
Oh, so he got hyped off these movies. He's like, yo, I got a great idea now.
Unless he
At
knew
what-
about the pizza bombing, I don't believe we're far enough into the Saw series where the shotgun.
Oh, okay,
we're like
okay.
one Saw movie in. At this
Okay,
point.
okay.
Okay, what if at some point during this whole process, she's like, okay, this nutsack has me in a hole in the ground. He's probably not smart enough to make a remote control bomb that goes around my neck, and she just makes a run for it. Do you think it was actually going to go off, or do you?
I think that we'll see. It's an article, so I left everything in. I believe that they were working explosives. I don't know that if she tried to escape, it had an area, or maybe he had just like a cable that she couldn't snap. That if she just got too far away, it pulled a pin. Or the specifics I don't believe are involved.
Yeah, but you can get some Romex and some, fucking hot links or whatever and make something that looks like working explosives. Or you can even get, plastic explosives and deck cord and shit. But if it's not like actually hooked up to anything, like, do you think the guy's actually smart enough to figure something out? Or do you think,
I
he was
think
bluffing?
I think
Like, what do you think?
I think that he was touted as a survivalist. I think that anybody who this is 2006, so it's like it's pretty early internet, but like I had the Anarchist cookbook in the fucking 6th grade, and you can make real explosives out of the fucking Anarchist cookbook. If not for the Anarchist, or if not the Anarchist cookbook, you go to the library and there's a book about bombs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that this is some learned fellow, but if one were so inclined to make sure that they knew that the explosives they were making, maybe if not spectacular, were at least operational. That's what I think about him. They called him a survivalist, and I don't think he was self-proclaimed as such. They looked around at kind of what he had done, and anybody who's digging a 15-foot deep 4x20 trench on their own by hand, I think is just fucking crazy enough to make whatever they need to work.
That's real.
That's my opinion. To answer your question, I don't know how rhetorical it was, but that's what I'm thinking. So she is going through pretty much hell down in a fucking hole in the ground, quite literally.
Man. That sucks so much, bro.
Yeah.
Did she survive this?
Just listen.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I finished, I swear.
Okay.
So there was a water supply that he gave her, but it was being supplied from a stagnant pond nearby. He told Elizabeth that he intended on keeping her there for months, if not years. When Elizabeth didn't return home from school, her parents reported her missing. Despite that fact, they were quite adamant that something sinister had happened. Police assumed that she was just a runaway. It certainly wasn't in her character to run away from home, they asserted. Nevertheless, police refused to issue an Amber Alert and listed her as a runaway. Over the course of the next 10 days, Elizabeth worked on gaining her captor's trust. She attempted to relate to him by speaking about things that interested him and making it seem as if she were interested too. She tried to make him believe that she was enjoying her predicament and his company. Eventually, he started to let Elizabeth go outside for fresh air. Using her wit, she left strands of hair on beaches. Hopefully, somebody would find them and put 2 and 2 together. On the 10th day, Elizabeth asked Filya if she could use his phone to play games. Once he fell asleep, she sent out numerous texts to her family.
Oh my gosh.
Her mother received one of the text messages from Elizabeth saying that she was in a hole in the ground and that she could hear trucks driving by. Police were able to trace the phone number through a telephone tower nearby to the underground bunker. So they triangulated that shit.
There
off
you
the
go.
text that she
He didn't
sent.
smash that shit on a rock or nothing.
2006.
Space.
What did
So hold on. She was leaving strands of hair on the beach.
So like he was taking her out, I guess, to like when they were getting fresh air, it wasn't like outside. So like she, he was still watching her closely, and so I guess she was like, before they would leave, would pluck out whatever, a few strands of hair, and was trying to. I mean, she's 14 years old. Like,
Yeah, she's trying.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no,
She's smart.
that's
too,
fine.
man.
I was just thinking, like, what do you suppose the odds are that somebody's going to be cruising down the beach and be like, "Oh fuck, do you see this hair?
Yeah.
This has got to be for something."
let's get this thing tested.
Like,
Yeah, some people are like, ugh, hair. They kick it off them real quick and they just dip.
I'm not saying that it was a good plan, but it was her plan, and that's what she came up with.
A plan.
And yeah, it was a plan. Exactly. Like
Yeah.
some of us would have just let him kill us. in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah. She had some willpower.
She did save herself.
She did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You remember the answer to the question,
Yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah, you're right.
So, police were able to trace the phone number. As police were hot on the trail going to the bunker, Filya found out after he was watching the news on a battery-powered television inside the bunker. Initially, he was infuriated with Elizabeth. Quote, "I was scared. I thought I was going to die. He was mad," she said. The anger soon turned to fear. To what if police found him? He asked Elizabeth for advice, and she suggested that he flee immediately and get a head start on the police, who were fast approaching.
Oh, but
She's like, what do I do? What do I do? She's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Go, 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 go.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, so
But-
she's on top of the game then.
But
'cause
not
she-
really if you think about it, because if he just says, "Okay, I'm gonna dip," well, I gotta finish my, I gotta clean my trash up.
I think she felt very comfortable that he was
Okay,
not going
okay.
to do that. But I don't think you're totally wrong in a lot of cases. So he complied, and he left Elizabeth alone in the bunker as he took off. I also don't think that he knew that they knew exactly where it was. Like, oh, if I just get out of the bunker, like they won't find her. It's a fucking underground bunker. I hid this shit well. Shortly after he left, Elizabeth steadily screamed at the top of her lungs for help from inside the bunker, hoping somebody somewhere would hear her. A search party who was searching the surrounding area after knowing where the triangulated pinpoint cellular location was, they sent out fucking people looking immediately. The search party hears her screaming, and they run over to open up and unearthed the grim pedophile's lair.
ETA on the time it took to hear the screaming.
No idea. I think not very long. There's
Okay, I was
people
gonna say, she
in
might
the
have some
area
vocals.
looking. Like, I think under an hour for sure she was discovered.
That's still a lot of screaming.
Plus that sound fucking carries.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
especially like out in the open.
Yeah.
But next
It's gonna
So she's found, she's safe. The priority now is a manhunt for Filya, who is now on the run. So it's fucking on. A police helicopter circled around the bunker and surrounding wooded areas. As they searched, they uncovered 3 other hidden bunkers, all of which were dug by Filya. He was a survivalist who knew every single inch of the woods. In fact, Filya had a tunnel system underneath his house leading to several other underground bunkers. He was finally tracked down after a
mole
woman
rats.
called police to say that Filya had attempted to carjack her outside a pizza restaurant at approximately 2 a.m. on the 17th of September. Police apprehended him walking alongside Interstate 20 around 5 miles from his house. He was armed with a pellet gun, a taser, and a long hunting knife. Filya pleaded guilty to charges of kidnapping and 10 counts of criminal sexual conduct. Final question. Somebody's going to walk away a winner. Most
Yes.
likely Hunter, statistically. Let's be real here.
Yeah, but
But everybody technically has a chance.
Come
So
back, King.
the only way for Bobby or Justin to win it is to nail it. Hunter, you're pretty safe. You don't even technically have to answer. I would. It's just writing something down.
Okay.
Question number 14. How many years would they sentence him to in prison?
One more question. What was the sentencing? Like what he was?
He was
sentenced with?
charged with kidnapping and 10 counts of criminal sexual assault. Criminal sexual conduct. How many years? How many fucking years? Can somebody nail it to walk away with the victory, or is somebody just going to get some consolation points?
Okay. I want to hear his answer.
Hunter said life. Let's actually, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to tell you that it's longer than, it's not life. Give me years. Give me an amount of
okay.
years. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
So if you wrote life, rewrite it. Give me an amount of years.
Okay.
All right. Sorry.
Because life can be 25 years, which fucking blows about the judicial
All
system.
right. I got it now.
Okay. Closest to the answer is going to get 250 points. If somebody nailed this shit, it is 1,000, and you're going to be the winner. Well, there'll be a challenge between you guys if Justin's nailed it. So let's just see if that's going to happen. Justin, how long?
10 years.
10 years. That's what he says. I'm just going to let you down easy. You didn't nail it. You did not nail it.
Oh, I'm so excited too because I have such a good challenge.
Not tonight, buddy. Sorry. Hold on to it, though.
All right,
Hold
here
on
we
to
go.
it. Bobby, let's see if we've got to let you down or tell you you won it. How many years
Going
did they
with my
sentence him
gut.
to? Go with your gut.
50 years.
50 years. Hunter says 250 years. Nobody nailed it.
Damn it.
Yes.
Hunter's the winner. Hunter's also going to get the points because they sentence him to 421
my
years.
Gosh, I would
in
never have
prison.
thought that.
Yeah, they actually do sentence people like above human lifetime for like some life sentences.
Well, they do that because if maybe they go back and are able to prove that you didn't do some of these, or you can get off on some technicality, you have 40 years for this and 60 for this and 40 for this, and they'll be like, oh, okay, so now you only have 360 years. On your sentence.
That's just like, hey, yo, can I get a cheeseburger with no cheese with a side of cheese? That's
Yeah,
the type
I mean-
of thing right there.
That'll be 50 cents for the cheese.
Because you
Dude.
want to pay 60 cents more for the same thing.
Yeah,
Dude, you know what?
precisely.
That's how messed up I am.
So, he's sentenced to 421 years.
Damn, Hunter, congratulations.
All right.
Congrats. Quote, I have a strong belief you have forfeited your right to be a member of this society. I can think of no crime short of murder more repulsive than these, said Judge G. Thomas Cooper as he handed down the sentence. Fucking metal. Elizabeth's
I know, that was
determination for
dope.
survival was nothing short of outstanding. Quote, I look at her all the time and think what she went through and how she did it, her father said today. Elizabeth went on to graduate from high school and technical college. Putting her traumatic past behind her, she is determined to let her story be a lesson to others.
My gosh, what a G. You know
Definitely
what?
call her a survivalist.
Dude,
Yeah.
yes, she's
Very
epic,
good,
bro.
Very good.
Awesome.
So-
awesome.
And
Okay,
shout
I
out
like
to
that
her.
end.
If by chance she hears this, good job, young lady. You did
Yes.
a fantastic job, and everybody's proud of you and really happy for you.
Yeah, dude, you're a beast. If you got gains.
It's truth.
To
This is truth.
manipulate a guy like that while in that situation is
Well, that's the
like,
beauty of
amazing.
women.
Like to be like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna admit, like I'm 14.
Oh, is that the beauty? Yeah, tell us more.
It's the chaotic beauty of women. It's
But to
like,
be like 14 and in that
Yeah.
horrible situation, being like, oh, you know, I'm gonna earn this guy's trust.
Yeah,
Like, I don't.
and she figured it out for
yeah,
sure.
She was good. It was good.
Yeah.
She knew there's a way out.
So, congratulations, Hunter. You are the winner. Yeah, man. You guys find us on all the social medias. We told you at the top. You don't need to hear them again.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. We did them at the top. I meant our social medias. Bobby, tell them your social
Oh no, I didn't mean like
medias.
that. I just hold on. I was just
Is this what this is? Or is this a commercial for you? No. Oh, what's the stuff you brought?
I thought about it too. I was like, I should say this.
I'm just fucking kidding. Dude. Bobby, tell them where they can find you.
Underscore B3R underscore on pretty much everything.
Synced his shit.
Yeah, I synced it.
Good job,
And-
Bobby.
Yeah. And yeah, man. I was gonna say, check out the profile, and I really appreciate the people. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to say. That's what I remembered. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, people who actually followed me from this thing. This is awesome. I love this show, and it's just awesome to see people who are like, hey, I'm going to check this guy out and actually say what's up, because that means a lot. And it means that you guys are actually having a good time listening to me go crazy on this thing.
Yeah, we appreciate having you, Bobby. It's always our pleasure.
Yup.
Justin, anything you want to throw out there here at the end, buddy?
Just go ahead and follow me on Instagram or Twitter on Justin Vasquez 22. Both of them the same thing.
Shazam! Also,
you
sync to
synced.
shit.
Fist bump.
Hunter.
Thank you for listening and have a wonderful evening.
He's
There
so
you go.
mysterious. He's
I like
so
that.
mysterious.
That was good radio voice. You should have talked more during this.
It's a fake
Just
voice.
good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Yeah. And in case I don't see you, Greg. What do we? No, you know what? Never mind. No. What do you got here for the end, buddy? You're not coming to my birthday party.
Oh. Let's see. The Zodiac Bomber's a hoax.
Chuck E. Cheese sucks.
Kanye West.
Yeah, Kanye West is actually a genius at marketing, and he's playing a character, and you guys are all being bamboozled by it. And wake up, America!
Stay woke.
Come on, sheeple.
Watch his Instagram. Instagram
I don't know.
TV.
I'm
You should make Instagram TV on Kanye West.
tag on all your favorite social medias. Keep watching the skis. I got nothing. Stop me, please. God, help me. Throw me around.
It's already dead. Yeah, man. So one more congratulations to Hunter. Thank you,
Yeah.
obviously,
All right.
Bobby, Justin, and Hunter for being here. Thank you, Hello Greg, for cruising through the bunker and not ever saying a fucking word to me. 66.6 feet directly below us.
I expect you to be gone by the time I leave.
I'm leaving a fart in here.
I'm just kidding. I'm not actually gonna leave. Go up
So-
there, slam some doors, come back down.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Hello Greg, for doing what you do. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And remember, don't talk to strangers.
This has been the Super Network.